So here we have the shocks, which is the first step of the build to do. Usually myself, I do this the last step, but for this it's the first step because it's back A. So here we have the all of the connectors to the car, which we can attach the shocks with. This we don't need yet. And here we have the rear shocks, and here we have the front shocks. Yeah, so this will be everything you need for doing the shocks, which are included in the back. And actually, yeah, you need to find the pistons from the box because they are not in this included in these bags. So we found the pistons, and they are 5-hole pistons. I would recommend to use these 5-hole pistons in a rough and bumpy and loose track, I would say. Here we have the shock shafts and everything we need, and here all of the O-rings. For the O-rings, I would recommend to use some kind of O-ring grease, but for the shafts we don't have to do anything. They come out really nice from the factory, so they will be super smooth. So basically here is everything you will get in the back, and as you can see in front there is 2 different ball ends, and I would recommend to use the short ones at the start, but if you feel like you need more droop or something, you can go always with the longer ones. So these you need to screw open everything because they don't have the O-rings and anything inside, so don't forget to do that. Also this one, doesn't have the O-ring in. Usually I start with attaching this to the shock, and I have a good tip to make it a bit more smoother to screw it in here and make it a bit smooth, because otherwise it will be super hard to tune or something. It's super tight. So I normally use a little bit of a shock oil, what you are using in the shock, bit to the O-ring, then run it over the O-ring, the oil, and you will see the O-ring bit more wet, I would say. And then screw it in. It will be more smooth, and it will be easier to adjust to your ride height. Then when you screw, you have done this, I will put the smaller O-ring the end of the shock body one, so you don't forget it. And then I will do the shock shaft. We put this little spacer under the piston so it doesn't break the piston, because it can easily break the piston if you don't have this washer under the piston. So now it will be more safe, it will last much longer. Then we screw we screw this screw in, and I also have a tool for this one, and I use these pliers. They have the end, they have a smooth area, so you can press it against the shaft without damaging it. And I will screw in tight so it doesn't fall off at any point when you are driving. Now we have attached the piston to the shaft. Then we put the shaft in without the O-rings, and in the back you will get 4 O-rings, 2 plastic spacers, and 2 spacers also for the end of the O-rings. So first you need to put 1 O-ring, then 1 plastic, and 1 O-ring more. And at this point I will put some O-ring grease for the O-rings, so they will be more smoother, and they will seal the shock better, so you won't get your shock oil leaked out from the shock. Now will be bit of a jiggle here, so it will be in everywhere with the O-ring. Then we will put this top of the O-rings. It has a little like a flap, so put it upwards, then press it down, and then last we put this, screw this in, so it will secure the O-rings in better. So now it will be smooth, and also seal the shock. Then we will put this shock end, and here I have also a good tip to do. This is a body reamer, this one, and we ream it a bit from the inside, so it will have a bit bigger hole at the start of the shock end, so it will screw in much easier. As you can see, it will go in quite easy, and then I will just screw it in all the way. I usually screw this in so far that I can only see the last thread from here. So now the shock is almost done. We just need to put the ball inside, and now it's done. You have to feel if the ball is free. If it's not completely free, then press from here a bit, so it will flex the plastic bit more, so it will be completely free. Then you don't have any bind in the car. You can see it's now free. Then the shock itself is done, and we need to do the shock cap. Here we have the shock cap O-ring. Put it inside. We need to check that it goes all the way in. It will be in its groove inside the shock cap, so it doesn't leak out any air or oil. Usually at the start I press it with my finger and then check with the screwdriver all the way around. If you don't do this correctly, sometimes the O-ring can fall into your shock oil and in the shock, so it doesn't seal it and you will have rubber inside your shock. So that's what you don't want, basically. Now it's all the way attached into the shock cap, and then basically we are ready to fill up the shock. For this I will use 600 oil from Ultimate, and we will fill it up all the way, and then we will pump it a couple times to get all the air out. You can see that there will be some bubbles generated in the oil, and that we don't want. So you have to wait for some time to get it to get the bubbles out from the shock. And you can use some kind of shock pump or something. Like nowadays we have the electronic ones, and I would say that those are quite good. So you can use that or just a normal one, but you can also wait for some time to get all the air out from the shock. And at this point, if you are waiting for a long time and then do it a couple times again and it feels like it gets some air in, then you have something wrong with the O-rings under the shock, because they will give this air in to the shock and it doesn't seal it. So then you will know that your O-rings are broken or they are wrongly attached. And also sometimes with these small white plastic rings which are in the with the O-rings in the bottom of the shock, they can be a bit too tight in the center. So you can use this body reamer again to open it a bit more, so you will have it running free with the shock. And now seems like the oil is fine, so we can start to put the shock together. And here we will fill up the cap a bit with the shock oil, like something like this. You can see it will put less air into the shock when you do it this way, so you will fill it up the shock even more. This part I do without the screw on top, because otherwise when you put the screw in, you will get more air, more oil out from these holes, and it will actually push out more oil than leaving this screw out. So here we need to grab a towel and tighten it all the way in, and as you can see, there's bit oil from this small hole, but not too much. And now we can we have to move this all the way down, and as you can see now it's all the way down. Then pump it up slowly. As you can see, there starts to come oil out from the shock. Now it's all the way at the end. Now we need to screw this screw in, so it will seal the shock. Now you pump it a couple times, and now as you can see, it has a bit of rebound. So again, we take this all the way back and open this screw again, and slowly pull it up. As you can see, even more oil starts to come out from the shock. Then you wipe it off. Now you will screw this screw in again, and now you pump it a couple times and see. Now it doesn't have rebound anymore. So now it's perfect. And then we put this shock boot in, and here also we put a little bit oil on this plastic, so it will be easier to get the shock boot in, and it will slide it over much easier. You can see. Nice. Now it's all the way in. We can clean this off. Boom, here you have a working shock.